Hi.
What happens with this
What about it?
why?
Why did I make this taller?
Yeah.
Because it said it lowers the activation by 50 kilojoules. Yeah, no worries.
Okay.
Okay, friends, let's have a chat. So a few things I wanted to bring up about the quiz. Okay. Number one, I didn't take off any marks for this because I don't really care if you can show like a proper asymptote or not. Like I'm like okay with that. But if you read, and I want you to think to yourself, did I read the Chief Reader's report when I was doing the free response questions? Tell your partner, did you? The AP ones, yes. Yeah, like in the answer key, but after the answer key, there's a Chief Reader's report. No, and I felt like most of you probably didn't. I have photocopied that for you and killed more trees because these are actually one of the best learning tools that you can possibly have, because they will tell you all the things that students typically lost marks for. Yes? And in fact, you might want to unstaple it and put it in a binder or something so that you can look at the question and the Chief Reader's report at the same time. Yes? Because it says things like the kinetic energy curve should never touch 0. So while I didn't get fussed up about that on this quiz, if you were to get a question on the AP exam, they will care. Yes? So maybe what we should do today is, would you like a few minutes to look through the Chief Reader's report? Maybe you and your partner, one of you can open it to the questions that you've done, and one of you can open it to the answers. Yes? And if you're not sitting with anyone, you can, find yourself someone to sit with. Okay? So take a few minutes and go through those free response questions that you've done already. The Chief Reader's report is right after the answer key. So you're good. You said you didn't. Why did you say you didn't? No, just for the, no. It's in that one, yes. The one that says don't write on it, but you can write on it. Okay? 13, 14, 15, 16. And then if you did any of the other questions, don't bother reading it for the questions you haven't done yet. Okay, so if you've only done the first two, then don't read like the other ones. But
I can borrow and do this. Oh, thank you. Wait, are you sure?
oh yeah, no, it's fine.
Okay.
Hi. Yes.
I told you yesterday.
Yes, you did. It's all good. Jeremy, where are you? There you are. Idamar, do you want your quiz? Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not.
Test is next Tuesday, and we're going to talk about that today as well. Yeah. Are we still reading? Or are we finished? We're still reading? Go ahead. Hi. Okay, no worries. Yeah. Yes. You're just going to read it and see if there's anything that, strikes a chord with you and you're like, oh my God, I need to remember that next time. Yes? The ones you haven't done, don't do it now. Just, do them once you have done those questions, you will read the Chief Reader's Report because it gives you much more insight than the answer key does on its own. You can just do the question, yeah. If you're just hanging around and waiting, yeah, do the question, yeah. Yes. Yes.
So would saying this be like wrong, or is it like not
Well,
preferred?
so here's the thing. If you're talking about a reaction intermediate, you should mention the word reaction mechanism because they don't occur anywhere else other than in a reaction mechanism. So that's when I'm talking about like the appropriately. It's like make sure that you use words that are sort of connected to the whole idea. Okay. You're never going to run across like a reaction intermediate. Key idea about that is that it's part of a reaction mechanism. So yeah.
Got it.
Yes. Yes, I will. Feel free to highlight anything where you're like, oh my God, I need to remember that. I have highlighters at the back of the room if you want them. If you're just hanging out and have nothing to do, you can try the next questions in the FRQ, right? You can just be like, okay, I'll give the next one a try while I'm waiting. Yes. there and look there and look there and like, there's different definitions everywhere. That's garbage, right? Yeah. Yes, the biosolutions from animal sources. I don't know, the biologists, they don't harm the exams, don't they? People don't harm each other. Yeah, yeah. Even in bio, if they wanted van der Waals forces and you said London dispersion, I bet you would get credit. I would bet money. Yeah. Call me over if you have any questions, please. We're out of yellow? I'll make more. Hi. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Yes. Oh, right. And you're like, what's going on? Yeah, because of all the stuff that's going on. Forget it.
Oh, never mind. Oh, that is a good news. Okay, so let's say one more time I start 4.5. That's true. You're supposed to remember. I remember last school. Yeah, that's too bad. But you got study for on things out. I dude. How's the sandwich, bro? How's the sandwich? Is it yummy? Is it yummy? My average is still under an egg. It's at an 84 right now. My average this semester is at 84. Jumped up 13% from last year. 13, bro. No, it's 13, the unlucky number, man. 13 is the difference between actually having and missing. 13. Man, it made me 4 average right now. Wonderful. I don't even break 9. Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. This is good on that. No, it's always how I can do that. Because I didn't know either. The bucket at 80? The bucket at 80 jumps on top.
I didn't see it. So, like,
I'm practicing.
I like Reddit. I like Reddit.
So practicing. Not take it, man. Help yourself, bro. You already know. Now take the whole thing.
I read it. This was like,
No, what the heck, guys? What the heck? What the heck, guys? I don't need to lose. Yo, are you serious? Are you serious? No, me, bro. It's like a brother versus self-confidence. Dude, wellness is wellness. Yeah, bro. Yo, how am I supposed to chill out? Okay. Well, make it 2 paragraphs. I'm gonna do 2 paragraphs with the average of 8 of 7 to 9. 7 to 8. 2 average, no, 2 essays, 2 paragraphs with the average of 79. And quiz average 84. I don't know about 2. No, like, I don't know. No, it's all good.
Before the class is over. Yes?
Like this is like 25 bucks. This is like 25 bucks.
What?
It takes like 1 more time.
Because I'm a dummy.
Sorry. There you go. Okay. So this is going to be just handy for everything. Scientific terminology. People ask them, they're like, do I need to memorize the exact definition that I gave you? And the answer is no, you don't. But I have carefully worded the definitions so that they actually mean what they say they mean. So if, for example, you are talking about a reaction intermediate, yes, you're not going to say it's a product because is it a product? No. Is it an atom? Not an atom. Is it a bond? No. Okay? So there are a bunch of things that it's not. It is a chemical species. Chemical species just means a chemical, a thing, which is a chemical. And it's a really handy term to know because if you're like, I don't know what particular type of chemical it is, even an activated complex, which does not count as a compound or a molecule because it's got all kinds of broken bonds in and stuff, it can be called a chemical species. So if you just want to say chemical thing without sounding like an idiot, you can say chemical species and that will take care of it for you. Yes? So you want to know this word. Chemical species is just a sophisticated way of saying chemical thingamabob, okay? So any kind of chemical that you want a name of, call it a chemical species, okay? Yes? Yes, it comes out of one step. It's produced in one step, and then it is formed, it's used up in the next step. It is not a product. Product specifically means a product of the overall reaction. Yeah? Shh. Yes. No. So you would say it is a chemical species that is produced in one step. And this is the other thing I wanted to say is that you need to use specific terms. Like if I've got a reaction intermediate, these do not happen in all chemical reactions. So you don't want to say it's used in one step of a reaction, or it's used in a reaction and then it's produced in a reaction and then used up later. Do you see how that's vague? Used in a reaction, produced in a reaction and used up later. That is vague. You want to say that it is used in one step of a reaction mechanism because you don't get a reaction intermediate if you don't have a mechanism. And produced. I keep getting it backwards. And used up in a later step. So that's the kind of thing you want to do. You want to be specific in your use of terminology. You don't want to be vague, and you don't want to be incorrect. So you want to be as precise as you can, which means you really need to think about what each word means. So for, if you're reading a definition, you're like, wow, okay, I'm going to try writing my own definition. And if you ever want me to like vet your own definition and tell you why it's good or not, I can certainly do that for you. All my definitions have been vetted over the last, 20, 30 years. So yeah. Yeah. Yes, they can refer to anything. Yes? Now, about your test next week. It's only 1.1 to 1.5. Yes, it's none of the Duotang book. Have you guys done the practice written response yet? That was in the review? Not yet. You must do the practice written response, because multiple choice, it's like the low-hanging fruit, right? You're like, oh, I love doing a multiple choice question because it gives you feedback right away and you don't have to write crap and like dissect your answer and see how it goes. But you must do those written response questions, because that's where you're going to run into more difficulties in, say, phrasing something or looking at the intricacies of something or whatever. Yes? Oh, yes, yes. So, do the free response questions in the regular reaction rate review. Now, I would like to tell you what your test will look like. It will have 24 multiple choice questions, and then it will have 16 free response marks. Marks, not questions, marks. So the test will be out of 40. Now, technically, we should be able to finish it within the class period, okay? Now, classes are slightly shorter than they were when I first designed these tests, but reaction rates is the shortest of them, if you know what I mean. Like, it's like the easiest to answer in the amount of time. I'm going to try and cut the other ones back by a few marks, maybe to like 36 or something like that instead of 40 marks worth. Okay, but for this one, I feel like you guys need like a little push to be like, okay, I need to work really efficiently. Yes, because when you're writing the AP exam, when you're off at university, when you're doing whatever, you need to be efficient and go grab all the cheap and easy marks first. Don't waste your time on tough marks unless you're bleeding time at the end and you're just like, oh, I got all the time in the world now. Like, then go after those tough marks. Yes? Don't kill yourself like trying to solve, that one multiple choice question that's always like crazy. Not that there's really going to be any of those, because there aren't very many crazy ones in regular Chem 12. But don't go after that crazy one. Leave it alone. Just be like, whatever. I'm going to answer B. B is a good answer. I have to check the most recent AP exams, but it used to be, before the new 2014 update, that B was the most common answer, followed very closely by C, then by D, and then by A. So if you're playing strategy, if you're guessing on a question, right? If it were me, I would be like, I would eliminate any choices that I know are completely wrong, and then go with B before C, before D, before A. Yes? That's okay. Yes. You guys are taking a little bit of statistics here and there, yes? No, you haven't taken any probability or statistics? Okay. Every question is independent of any other question. Don't be fooled by that game of, I have 5 B's in a row, surely there could not be a 6th B. It doesn't work that way. Yes. Yes. Draw the curve on the graph. Okay, let's go look there. And was it in the AP stuff or the regular stuff? Regular stuff. Okay. Like in here? Right here. Okay, sketch the shapes of the curves on the following graphs, assuming some CO2 and some NO are placed in a closed container and left to react. So we are looking at how much CO2 do we have over time. We have placed some CO2 into the vessel, yes? So it starts high. Now, is it going to increase or decrease in concentration? It has to decrease because it's being used up. Is it going to decrease as a straight line, or is it going to decrease quickly and then slow down? Quickly and then slow down, because the rate of the reaction will slow as the concentration decreases, because there will be fewer collisions because the concentration is lower. Okay? And so for NO2, that's a product. You're going to start at 0 because you don't have any. It gets produced quickly at first because you've got lots of reactant molecules colliding, and then the rate is going to slow down until you get to your final value, at which point it should flatline. Did that answer your question? Cool. No, it's just like it goes quickly at first because you've got lots of reactant, and then it slows down over time, and yeah, that's it. Yep. So any other questions about anything? I'm going to let you just study stuff over the weekend. I will put up, there is one more like mega free response question, and there might be some relevant stuff to like regular things in there. I'll put it up over the weekend. I just haven't had a chance to compile it with its answer key yet. So, study your butts off. Are the, I would say the steps in a reaction mechanism. That's what I would say. Yeah. Yes. It will, yes, for the written response part, and the multiple choice will look like the practice multiple choice you've been given. Yes. So the regular review, those are all from old government exams. The test is all from old government exams. Yeah.